Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's real estate authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb's an author. Barb Schlinker is a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday at 11 o'clock. And if you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or on all the other popular podcast sites, iHeartRadio, Spotify, etc. So, Barb, what are we going to be talking about this week?
Well, Richard, today's show is going to be kind of fun because, first of all, we're going to talk about what's going on in the housing market and, more importantly, the predictions about where the real estate market's going to go in 2024. And then the next topic I've covered before. I always have more to add to the story on home inspection nightmares and how to avoid that when selling a home. We're also going to talk about the cost of selling a home. A lot of people really don't know. What does it cost to sell a home? What can I expect to put in my pocket when it sells? What's reasonable? What's not reasonable when we get an offer? That kind of thing. And then the last subject is also a fun one for me, which is agent showing nightmares and how to avoid those problems. And as always, I love talking about our hot new listings. Richard?
So, Barb, as people are busy right now for the holidays and the change from one year to another, it's a great time for folks to plan for their next year. What are sources telling you about what the real estate market is going to look like in the next year? Where are we heading?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a bad year necessarily. We have seen recently the rates come down about a half a percentage point just in the past week. And so that's good because, the more the interest rate is high, it absolutely affects the number of buyers that can afford payments on homes. So what we're really going to see is that there might be a little bit more inventory. There will be a few more choices of homes of buyers to choose from. But if they see something they like and it's in their budget, do not hesitate, because if the rates stay at this kind of mid-6 level or less, what we saw in the beginning of 2023 is that when the rates were hovering somewhere in the mid-6s, month after month going into the spring, prices went up and inventory went down. Now, why is that happening? Well, in a normal market, people would be putting their houses on the market to improve their lifestyle. Maybe they're downsizing, maybe they're getting a bigger home, maybe they're moving to another location. The problem is there are fewer homeowners putting their homes on the market right now because of the big spike in the interest rate. So they might have bought their home and or refinanced it with a very, very low interest rate. I'm talking to people that have 2.25, 30-year fixed, 2.5. I mean, it's almost like free money, right? So their payments are low. So if they do decide to improve their lifestyle and go to a bigger, smaller home, whatever, a lot of them are thinking twice about, well, wait a minute, I am going to have to pay double the interest rate I was paying, and or more than double, and my payment, it just might not be unaffordable. It might not make sense for me to make that move. And that's why we're seeing the inventory being low, and it's kind of the new norm going into 2024. We are seeing a small tick up in pending sales, though. That's a good sign. That means that the buyers are coming out now after in October and early November, the rates were as high as over 8%. That really stopped the number of sales just because they were unaffordable to get an 8% interest rate. But now it's hovering around 6.6, so the mid sixes. And so buyers are like, okay, I can handle that. So if they see a home that they like, they should not hesitate. They could jump on it. They should jump on it. And that's why home sellers, when they put their house on the market, need to be prepared. And I call it the 4 Ps in their preparation. Make sure that their home is prepared to show. make sure they pick the right agent, because there's some agents that just don't care and don't market properly, don't price it properly. All those things really do hurt the seller and could cause much longer days on market if they don't approach the market in the right way. And the promotion, the photos have to be the best. So that's part of what we do. We're actually offering a free report that's titled the top 7 tips to get your house ready to sell for top dollar. You can download that free report on my website, barbhasthebuyers.com, or you can give us a call at 719-301-3900. So one of the things I check very carefully are the statistics. I have this really cool software company that's giving me weekly updates on the trends, on where the market was, where it's going. And so we saw prices pretty good, like the median price in the Colorado Springs area to be about 578. And we kind of bottomed out in December. It went down to 499. But the good news is it's ticking up just a little bit. So I think what that means for the future is if you're selling now, you have to be priced very realistically. If you grab an agent that's looking 6 months back at those sales and you price it there, it could be that that home sits on the market and you have no sales. So you have to really react to what's happening in the market almost in real time right now. You can't go that far back in time as far as what's happening. The other mistake that I see buyers making is many of them could buy a home right now, but they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for the rates to fall and or waiting for the prices to fall. But the problem is if they're slow on the uptake, if they see something that works for them and they decide to make an offer, if they wait too long, they could be facing competition and that ideal home might be gone. So I would really keep an eye on interest rates. General rule of thumb on that is if the rates climb, the number of available homes will climb and they'll have a little bit more negotiating room. If the rates fall, the number of available homes will drop, and because buyers are going to snap them up when they see them. I have an example. I put a home on the market today. It's owned by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. I gave them an opinion of value, and an appraiser gave them an opinion of value. And to my surprise, they priced it a good, oh gosh, I would say more than 10% below what I suggested they price it. And I was like, wow, I thought my number was low. Sure enough, as soon as that thing hit the market, showing after showing, I already have one offer, and we aren't even 24 hours on the market yet. So when you price it right, the buyers will come. So it's absolutely critical to make sure you know what that number is and get it right and be prepared to get your buyer. We talked about the rates falling already, down in the mid sixes right now, but your competition, what you really have to worry about at this point is new construction, because they have the scale. So these builders are building, dozens of homes in different neighborhoods. They have homes in different levels of construction. They call them spec homes that are closer to being completed than starting from the ground up. And as a result of that, and the fact that they're also offering huge incentives to buyers, things like, hey, if you use our lender, we will pay you $20,000 as an example incentive. You could do anything you want with that money. You could buy down your interest rate. You could upgrade the home, whatever your choices are. And as a result, their net share of the market's really almost doubled in the past year, because they have the capability to offer these great incentives to make the buyer say yes to them versus going to buy a resale. Even though they may not get the pretty lot that backs to open space, what I see a lot of the feedback in resales, if they're priced on the high end of similar sales, is that the buyers turn their nose up and say things like, well, it's a nice lot, but it needs too much updating. All that stuff takes cash. So you have to really work with somebody that knows what they're doing and knows how to position the home so you get the home sold at the right price for the most money in the least amount of time. My name is Barb Schlinker. I am the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about the housing market predictions. And next up, what we're going to talk about is what the buyers and sellers can expect in early 2024. And if you are thinking of making a move, and you'd like us to give you an in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale, that's what we do every single week. It's a free service, and we'll take a look at your home. We'll give you tips on what to do to get your house ready for sale. We'll also go over all the closing costs and give you a really good idea on what your home will sell for, so you'll know exactly how much you pocket when it sells. So to get one of those consultations, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, now we're discussing the current real estate market and how people can be prepared if they want to buy or sell. So, what should home buyers and sellers expect and do in this type of a market situation?
Well, I think they can expect that the choices for buyers, the low inventory, is going to be the new norm for at least a decade. And the truth is, in any market, buyers will jump on the best deals. So why not be one of the best deals? That way you have more offers and more choices. I actually did some research. I went and looked at what they say on the Freddie Mac website, which is a pretty good, they have a lot of graphs and data. They do a lot of national scale basis study. And what they were saying is the expectation is the rates are going to hover between 6 and 7. And so that will help with affordability for buyers, but it won't necessarily be low enough to pull new inventory up into the market. That means there's going to be a tight supply of homes, and they do forecast that prices will increase, not decrease, increase slightly into 2024. So if they see that home that they like, do not wait around, because it means that there are other buyers out there. If they like it, they're going to jump on it, because if rates fall, the available homes will also reduce, which will mean that there'll be fewer choices for them to choose from. And right now, there's absolutely no data that supports that we're going to see a flood of homes hit the market into 2024. And as far as sellers are concerned, I have a lot of sellers I meet with, and everybody wants the most money. Of course, they want the most money when they sell their home. That makes sense. But some of them would like to accomplish the goal, right? So if some buyers price in their negotiating room, they may not get the offer. The buyers are going to find something else that they like. So you can expect to compete against both other homes that are sitting on the market and new construction. And don't be surprised if the buyer comes in and asks the seller to pay your loan closing cost. It just has to be a net number. I try to prepare my clients for it, but usually they're surprised. I mean, I just got one last week where the buyer asked for, could you imagine, Richard, $26,000, the seller to pay $26,000 of their loan closing cost. What would you think of that?
First of all, my jaw would hit the floor, and by the time I got it back up, I would be, are you serious?
Yeah,
You
they're
really
doing it.
expect me to do that, do you?
The lenders are saying, oh, yeah, go ask the seller to pay all this. We're going to buy down the rate. We're going to do a 2-1 buy down, and we're going to do a permanent reduction on the interest rate and have them pay all your closing costs. And that will only cost $25,000. Go make it happen, And the sellers are like, no, maybe we'll go up in price to cover your cash problem, but that's not going to be our problem. So, I would say buyers, don't wait around for the rates and the prices to come down. That's probably not going to happen. And sellers, do the best you can to prepare your home for sale and to compete against new construction in every possible way. And that's part of what we do. You want to make sure you pick the right team to help you get top dollar for your home. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. That's barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing home inspection nightmares and how to avoid them when you're selling your home. Stay tuned for that.